Module 2, Planning Partners. Comprehensive Plan Planning Partners. This diagram is intended to outline the roles and responsibilities of different groups of people who will together enact the county's next comprehensive plan. First, we have county residents. Residents of Newcastle County elect the county government, which includes both the county executive and the county council. The county's residents also participate as members of the planning board, and residents work together with land use staff and their consultants to develop the comprehensive plan. Second, the county's government, which includes both the county executive and county council, play an integral role in the planning process. The county government is responsible for ultimately adopting the new comprehensive plan as new law, only after it is first approved and recommended by the planning board. The county's planning board is tasked with approving the new comprehensive plan for adoption before it is sent to county council. The Department of Land Use staff and consultants are tasked with preparing the new comprehensive plan for approval by the planning board. After the county government has adopted the new comprehensive plan, it will then go to the governor for certification. Once the governor has certified the new plan, the process is complete and the new comprehensive plan can be implemented. Planning board role. As stated above, the county's planning board plays a critical role in the update of the county's comprehensive plan. It is important to understand the legal authority given to the county and the county's planning board to outline and govern future growth in the county. As stated in this slide, Article 2, Section 25 of the Delaware Constitution gives all counties and municipalities the ability to adopt zoning ordinances, laws, or rules limiting or restricting specific buildings and structures in limited districts. Title IX, Sections 1101 and Section 2601 of the State Code provides Newcastle County broad home rule authority and outlines the county's authority to adopt zoning, planning, and other regulations. Title IX, Section 1303 of the Delaware State Code is an enabling statute for the Planning Board. This statute allows the board to consult with the general manager of land use concerning the performance of such of the functions of the land use department as either the board or the general manager shall deem appropriate. Title IX, Section 1303 also requires the board to review the proposed comprehensive development plan, any proposed zoning plan changes, any proposed subdivision regulations, and all amendments thereto, and upon completion of its consideration of any of these, the board shall recommend to the county council such action as the board shall deem appropriate. The county planning board's role is further described in State Code Title IX, Sections 1304 and 1305, where it states that the planning board is required to approve the comprehensive plan prepared by the Department of Land Use. Title IX, Section 2606 of the State Code states that regulations adopted by the county council shall be in accordance with the comprehensive plan. The code was updated in 1988 with the Quality of Life Act, which states that the comprehensive plan is intended to be a document expressing general policies and intentions of the county, but does not have the force of law. However, Title IX, Section 2652 states that the land use map or map series forming part of the comprehensive plan as required by this subchapter shall have the force of law. This can be a bit complicated to understand, but the basic takeaway from these legal statutes is that it has been determined that while the text of the county's comprehensive plan does not have the force of law, the land use map or series of maps in the comprehensive plan does have the force of law. And again, the text in the comprehensive plan outlining policies, goals, recommendations, and action items are still likely to have a great deal of impact on the future growth and policies of the county. County resident role. Some of the ways that county residents play a role in county planning and the comprehensive plan update are to participate in public hearings and meetings, lend professional expertise, help gather information for the plan. One example of this might be a land use survey where residents are asked to update the current land use of an area, participate and assist the staff and consultant team in the creation of the comprehensive plan and master plans, act as advocates for the plan, especially after adoption. This role can be critical to the success of a new plan, and serve on committees to advise the planning board, county council, or the county executive or to study in depth in order to assist these groups. Images on this slide show an example of an advertisement looking to gain feedback on the Southern Newcastle County Master Plan from an event which took place in June of 2019, and a photo from one of the workshops held for community input for the Route 9 Corridor Master Plan. County Executive and County Council role. Some of the County Executive and County Council roles are outlined on this slide, including appointing planning board members, adopting the comprehensive plan, adopting comprehensive rezoning that is consistent with the comprehensive plan once the plan is adopted and certified by the governor, and obtaining legal advice from the county's law department. Land use staff and consultant role. Some of the roles that the county's land use staff and consultants play are outlined in this slide, including assisting elected officials and the planning board by developing the text and maps of the plan for their approval, provide research on issues as needed, organizing the various parts of the plan into a document, facilitating community outreach, and providing guidance on complying with state requirements. State planning role. For this section, we outline the general process for the state's review of a comprehensive plan. The county's guidelines are slightly different, but in order to give a clear explanation, we will outline how the process generally works. Some of the duties and responsibilities of the Office of State Planning Coordination, or OSPC for short, include preparing documents and maps for state strategies for policies and spending, which will be described in the next slide. Review plans and organize comments from state agencies such as DELDOT or DENREC through the Preliminary Land Use Service Review Program. This program will be reviewed after the next slide. Review annexation plan of services for municipalities interested in annexing new property, and by providing technical assistance to local governments who request it. Newcastle County is fortunate to have a land use department with well-trained professional staff to handle technical assistance needed in the county, but many smaller municipalities in Delaware do not. OSPC's team assists many local governments throughout the state to navigate state requirements while often providing additional expertise and technical assistance for these local governments. OSPC's director is Connie Holland, and its team of circuit rider planners are Tricia Arndt, David Edgell, and Dorothy Morris. Their contact information is listed below, and they encourage residents to reach out to them. State strategies. State strategies classifies areas of the state based on their degree of urbanism, or in other words, their level of development. State strategies is used to help guide state spending by working with state agencies to focus improvements in areas that are already developed in order to improve the efficiency of the state's government spending. State strategies do not trump local land use prerogatives. Local governments make their own land use decisions as per Delaware law. However, state strategies must be taken into consideration in the Comprehensive Development Plan. State strategies was first implemented in 1999 and has been updated 3 times since then, with the last coming in 2015. Plus review. As stated previously under the state's role, we'll outline the general process for the state's review. The county's guidelines are slightly different, but in order to give a clear explanation, we will outline how the general process typically works. Projects reviewed through the Preliminary Land Use Service, or PLUS for short, are as follows. Comprehensive plan amendments and updates, residential subdivision plans with more than 50 dwelling units, non-residential development plans with more than 50,000 square feet of floor area, annexations and rezonings that are not in compliance with certified comprehensive plans. There is also an option for the state to enter into a memorandum of agreement with local governments. The county has a memorandum of agreement with the state that allows them to bypass some requirements that are typically required. This memorandum is currently under review. Steps for the state's typical review process are as follows. The PLUS process is initiated prior to the first step in a local government's land use review process. Projects or plans received prior to the beginning of each month are reviewed on the 4th Thursday of each month. Written comments by the Office of State Planning Coordination, as well as other state agencies reviewing each plan, are distributed to applicants after each PLUS meeting. A few other points to note about steps that may be taken before or after the PLUS process include the following. Local governments have the option to receive pre-PLUS review prior to the beginning of the process of updating the comprehensive plan. This pre-PLUS review is intended to give local governments helpful feedback and recommendations at the beginning of the comprehensive plan update process rather than receiving them at the end of the process. The governor's certification is only necessary for full updates of the comprehensive plan, and the Office of State Planning Coordination must approve amendments to the plan after adoption. This completes Module 2.